the founding father. Prajapita Brahma, a jeweler by trade, who at the age of 60 received a calling. He became the instrument, the medium through whom the Supreme Soul gave his wisdom. In 1937, he founded what later became the Brahma Kumari's World Spiritual University.
From early age, Baba was in search of God and a better kind of life, pure life. And as it went generally by the fashion of those days, that people thought that gurus are the proper leaders to God. And therefore, following that tenet, Baba started following gurus. Thus, Baba went on having more gurus and gurus. Up to the end, Baba had 12 gurus. And Baba had full faith in each guru. But being not satisfied with those gurus, Baba did not hesitate to leave the guidance of those gurus. And by that time Baba was 60 years of age and didn't find anything, any proper guidelines. Then Baba had a sincere heart, and still Baba desired to have something in life. And then he took 15 days leave from business to have some kind of deep thinking. And therefore he retired for 15 days to Benares in solitude. And during that period, he saw some visions. Baba saw in one vision that this old world, vitiated world, vicious world, is getting destroyed by natural calamities and by wars of several kinds, world wars and civil wars and killings and so many diseases and all that. Through so many methods, Baba saw a very dreadful scene of a vast scale destruction of this world. And Baba was simply surprised, and he was afraid how all this will happen. Then on the next occasion, Baba saw a totally contradictory scene, the scene of a new, perfect and pure world. And Baba was very much satisfied to see such a scene. Then on a third occasion, Baba saw the vision of Vishnu. Baba was a worshipper of Vishnu. And when he saw the vision of Vishnu, he was overjoyed. And in that vision, he saw Vishnu blessing him, having a hand of blessing on his head, and uttering the words, "I am Vishnu, so you are." This again puzzled Baba. How could he be that same entity whom he is worshipping? How can he be so elevated? So this put him in so many puzzles. On the one hand, he saw destruction. On the other hand, he saw the new world. On the third hand, he saw blessings from Vishnu. Then he had to churn and churn on these lines, what this means, how this can be achieved, how can the new world come into existence in place of the old world. So this churning and churning and churning went on. And ultimately, he as if felt that he is getting directions from God himself to do this job. The new world has to be established, and that is to be done through you.
मैं करता हूँ, इस कर्तापन के भान से दूर मैंने बाबा को देखा.
And because of this consciousness, we saw in Baba a state of detachment from the consciousness of I, or the thought that I have done anything.
मैं अभिमान की अंश नहीं देखी कि बाबा में.
And so there was no trace of any ego in Baba.
सच्चाई तो ऐसी देखी, अंश मात्र भी मिक्सचर नहीं देखा.
Total honesty, without any trace of any falsehood within it.
वफादारी और सच्चाई किसको कहा जाता है, वो बाबा में देखा.
We saw faithfulness in Baba and saw what true honesty means.
जो भगवान के गुणों की महिमा गाते आ रहे थे, वो गुण इस बाप में देखे.
We have been singing praise of the qualities of God, and we were able to see those qualities in this Father.
खिमिया, रहम, स्नेह इस बाप में देखा.
Forgiveness, mercy, and love were visible in this Father.
सच्ची दिल, बड़ी दिल इस बाप की देखी.
We saw in this Father a true heart, a generous heart.
फिर तपस्या देखी तो ऐसी देखी, बात क्या बताऊं.
And we also saw him as the embodiment of tapasya, the embodiment of intense meditation.
ये भी हम देख रही थी, शिव बाबा इस द्वारा हमको पढ़ा रहा है, अपना बना रहा है.
We were seeing how Shiv Baba was working through him and making us belong to him.
और साथ साथ इसको उसकी यादों में भी देखा.
And we also saw this one in remembrance of God, in remembrance of Shiv Baba.
तो वो इसमें भी देख रहे हैं, उसकी याद में भी इसको देख रहे हैं.
And we saw God working through him, yet we also saw him in deep remembrance of God.
I think those who came in touch with him in one respect or the other, to one point or the other, they were definitely influenced. And there were many reasons for this. One, for example, was the power in his thought. The belief system which he gave was very powerful, so that it intellectually convinced the people that this is the right way of thinking, this is what the truth is. And then he was able to bring the transformation through his love. He gave such a magic touch to the persons who came in close with him, that they found that there is really someone who has unselfish love. Without any personal motive, he loves. One could understand what love really is by coming in touch with him, I think. It touched the core of your mind. It changed your whole thinking. And you really believe that you are looking for this kind of a human being. You could never think that there could be such a living person on earth who really loves you, irrespective of your color of your skin, the beauty of your face or figure, your poverty or your richness, your abilities or lack of them. Now, he was a person who loved the soul as a person, not because he had any motive behind it. So that was what made you realize that there could be such a person, and what you are going to learn from him. And when somebody loves you and gives you good advice, then I think you are in a proper state of mind to act on that advice, because you think this is for your own benefit.
I learned a lot through him. The first and foremost was I started knowing myself, because otherwise, though I was good in my study, medical practice, everybody loved me, I loved them. But in fact, I never introspected myself, and I never knew who I was. So not only there was self-realization, but there was real understanding of my personality through him. Because whenever he used to write a letter, he used to really describe few of our qualities in the beginning of the letter. And as I came in contact with him, I could see how much knowledge he had about me much more than I knew myself, and I could feel from him the faith and trust that he had for me, which helped me a lot in carrying out my responsibility. The most important lesson that I have learned from Brahma Baba is to have balance in our life, so that we are looking after our body as well as we are not neglecting our mind or spirit. Also to have the balance of loving and detached, the balance of being economic as well as generous. So having that balanced life, we find that it becomes very easy to run smoothly in this life, which is mostly we find full of obstacles and obstructions.
Actually, whenever in the functions or in the branches they ask me to speak about the founder, I get emotional. And actually I sometimes get tears also. I stop while speaking. But here I will try not to do that. So, I met the founder way back in 1955 for the first time. My parents got into this knowledge. Actually, my mother sent me to check where my father was going. He started first. I was a law student in those days, in the final years of my law study. So, being the eldest of the two children, sons, so she sent me. And I, for about a week or so, was trying to test the knowledge and its contents and the philosophy. You know, a lawyer can work both ways, either for the defendant or the plaintiff. So I tried to check, and I was not successful, nor were they, to convince each other. Then one day, after so many days, because my father was deeply involved, that is why they were tolerating me, otherwise they would have said, you stop coming. So, they asked me to sit in meditation, try the meditation. So that day, I was just squatting for meditation. The sister who was supposed to teach me, she just had an introduction and went for a phone call, listening a phone call. When she was away, suddenly I got an experience, an extraordinary experience. A light engulfed me, I felt very happy for no reason. My eyes were open. I thought, what is this happening? I checked on my body, am I all right, felt it. So I got some feeling that there is some power here. And I should not just check it, I tried to think from their side if what they were saying was correct. After that it was easy for me to understand. So after a few months of that, the whole family went to Mount Abu, and first time I had encounter with the founder. I was very anxious to see him. So the founder was an old aged person, you know, about, must have been about 90 years of age or 85 years of age. And then he was a tall person with shining bright body, very attractive. And he would, what impressed me was he will mix up with you and feel one with anyone, any person, irrespective of their age or what. So my father will feel that he is his Baba and I will feel he is my Baba, like that.
And then when I was ready, and I came to Baba at that point when I was 18, and I said, Baba, I want this to be my life. Baba just smiled and said, Baba knew already. And then one night, it was here in Pandapavan. It was the month of June again, and very warm and pleasant. And I've been following the teachings just for a couple of months. But Baba had given permission that I should come to Madhuban again. Around 10:30 at night, we were in a little courtyard outside Baba's room. And at that time, the courtyard was open to the sky. And Baba was lying down on a bed that had been pulled out there. And it was about 10 of us gathered around Baba. And Baba's clothes were white, the bed sheet was white, Baba's pillow was white, Baba's hair was white. So it was an image of whiteness everywhere, great purity, light. And by Baba's pillow was a bunch of jasmine flowers, very, very fragrant. And Baba picked up these flowers and beckoned me to come and take them. And as Baba was giving me these, Baba was making eye contact. And we call this drishti, the spiritual vision in meditation and God's remembrance. And that drishti changed my life, because it was as if something pulled the soul from here and carried it into the dimension of light. And it was timeless. I really don't know how long Baba held me in that world of light, just in total stillness, in that experience of purity and love. And after a while, it was as if Baba let go, and I was able to come back to the consciousness of this world, and so that's how I became Brahma Kumari. And I think that if a film can show these two aspects of Baba, Baba's love and generosity, and secondly, Baba's wisdom and far-sightedness, I think then you'll have been able to show a little bit about who Baba really is.
It was in that first meeting with Brahma Baba and during the stay of 10 days which followed afterwards, that I could see Brahma Baba from such a closeness, because even physically I stayed next to Baba's room in the building where Baba was staying in Madhuban. And right from the morning, early morning hours till evening, till we went to sleep, it was nice to observe Brahma Baba, how he himself was a very keen meditator himself. And at the time of spiritual class, it was an experience to see the transformation in that personality when Shiv Baba descended in him to speak that spiritual knowledge to us. And then afterwards, how he himself appreciated that knowledge, and later on, how that knowledge was conveyed to all sisters and brothers for helping other human beings to get rid of the weaknesses, the negativity in their lives, and to become elevated souls.
I saw Brahma Baba for the first time sometime in 1956. When he came to Bombay, he had some problem with his kidney, and he had some stone in his kidney, and I was in the hospital. When I went there, I saw him lying in that hospital bed, and the moment I saw him, I was reminded of the statue of Buddha in those Ajanta and Ellora caves in India, and also there is one temple in Singapore where also Buddha on the rocks, a sleeping Buddha statue is there. I had seen many people, and although they may be good, they could not impress me because they were always worried about themselves also. When I saw him in the hospital, he was not worried about himself. He asked me so many questions. He asked me about my health and all those things. So I realized that here is a man, you see, who does not have any bondage with his body, and like that he impressed me a lot. Once I had taken him to a doctor, you see, concerned with, he wanted to check up his eyes, and that doctor, you see, started checking up his eyes, and then he found that at the age of 93, he could read, write and do everything. So he verified and tested all the aspects of his eyes, and ultimately after 3.5 hours he told me that, Mr. Ramesh, believe me, this man, this Brahma Baba, has 100% perfect eyes at the age of 93. Thus his perfection in life was also a part of his perfection of his eyes and perfection of his body. He could play, he could walk, he could talk, everything at the age of 93, like a young boy of 39.
Maybe it was 14th or 15th of January, and it was very cold night, evening time. after the dinner, it was Baba's practice to go out and have a little walk in a courtyard. And that day also Baba came out of the room after the dinner and wanted to walk in a courtyard. Normally Baba had someone to go with him for a walk. And that day the everyday sister wasn't around, and I happened to be around. I just arrived the doorstep and Baba was coming out. And Baba looked at me and asked, "Child, you want to go for a walk?" How can I say no? "Oh yes, Baba, I want to." And Baba held my hand and we set off to walk. But the moment I hold Baba's hand, I felt it wasn't Baba's hand. Normally when you touch somebody, you see, you feel the flesh and bones, but there wasn't that kind of feeling. But the feeling was like it was a cotton wool, or it was like a light. It was a few minutes because it was very cold and windy, so we went maybe for a few minutes and Baba said, "Let's go inside." It was very cold, and so we went inside. In that day I did not realize what was it, but I felt that. But next few days then Baba became Avyakta, and a whole new avenue of effort, spiritual effort, came to our attention, that how to become an angel, not only in a spiritual sense, but through the physical, through the godly, that Baba not only did service in a spiritual way, but also he melted his bones and flesh for God too. And that was Brahma Baba's achievement through his life while he was in a physical